The Presidential Campaign Council (PCC) of the All Progressive Congress (APC) has alleged that ASO cabal wanted a pliable candidate and not a strong-willed and experienced member of the party to succeed President Muhammadu Buhari, hence the sabotage of the presidential candidate of the party Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the same time. The Campaign Council has described the recent presidential election poll result released by SUCC as a pretext to cause political crisis and riots in Nigeria after the February 25th presidential election. But the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Atiku Abubakar, has also alleged that his main rival, Tinubu, would acquire federal government properties across the country if he got the country's top job later this month. Tinubu has recently in Abeokuta alleged that the ongoing fuel scarcity and naira redesign were part of an orchestrated plot to frustrate his ambition. But the Director of Special Duties of the APC PCC, Chief Ayeri Emami, while addressing journalists on Sunday in Abuja, maintained that some ASO elements were afraid of a successor with a strong social and political network with capacity to correct the error in governance. His words, "Let me use myself as an example. Even in our small community, if you know your rights and you know what you are doing and you want to lead, many people will come after you. Because a lot of people don't want somebody that understands the system to lead because all they know is how to manipulate. Asiwaju knows the inner workings of governance. I'm not saying that he knows it all, so you will see every day all kinds of battles or kind of blackmail, all kind of way to stop him. And that is how I see Asiwaju. He knows a lot about governance. He knows what to do to make sure that this place works. And if it works, there are persons there doing dubious things will not be able to do it again. So if such a person is to take over, it won't be an easy battle because they know he knows the inner workings of government and can't be manipulated," he said. The party chieftain pointed out that with the revelations coming from the APC governors at last Friday's meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari, it was now clear to Nigerians that the Naira note redesign did not enjoy the buy-in of the APC-led administration at all levels. Emami insisted that those policies were not APC policy, saying the policies were only meant to sabotage the party's candidate. They are not policies of the APC at all, because if they were the policies of the APC, everybody will be involved. These are policies of some few persons to sabotage. Why introduce such policies during the election, he said. On the perceived indifference of President Buhari to the APC presidential campaign, Emami said it was not indicative of any lack of commitment or cold war between Tinubu and the president. To me, even his own election, it was other people that were actually championing his campaign. So I just feel that this is his normal style. All humans are not the same, he said. Meanwhile, in another development, the Director of Media and Publicity APC PCC, Bayo Onanuga, has alleged that the poll organization might be preparing ground for violent protests by Obi supporters who would allege rigging when their candidate is roundly defeated at the election in which he was not likely to even come a distant third. He said the campaign was reacting for the sake of unsuspecting Nigerians so that they were not misled by the Patrick Okigbo-led organization, which appeared to have the agenda to create confusion and chaos in the country. Onanuga said Nigerians should know that promoters of next year's were members of Mr. Peter Obi's Presidential Campaign Council and active campaigners for the Labour Party presidential candidate, stressing also that any poll conducted by such intensely partisan and prejudicial tainted organizations should be taken with a pinch of salt. While noting this was part from the fact that the sample size of the so-called poll and methodology employed could not stand any integrity test, the APC campaign said it was quite ludicrous that next year poll that projected a clean sweep of the Southeast region at over 90% of registered voters also put Obi ahead of its presidential candidate, Tinubu, in the 6 southwest states, including Lagos, assuming without absolutely conceding that Peter Obi will enjoy home advantage in his part of the country. We then wonder why the pollsters at next year's, if have any modicum of respect for the intellect of Nigerians, though the factors that would propel landslide victory for Obi in Southeast will not work for the APC candidate in his own Southwest base, he said. Onanuga contended that next year's pollsters also put Labour Party ahead of Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, in his home state of Adamawa, adding that next year's pollsters called the entire South-South region for the Labour Party at 60%, in Akwa Ibom, the base of the chairman of PDP Presidential Campaign Council. He further pointed out that the partisan pollsters gave Bayelsa 62.9% to Labour Party and also claimed the party would win Delta 65.9%, home of PDP vice presidential candidate. At the same time, he stressed that the jesters in next year's also claim Obi will win Rivers by 77.8%, Edo 76.9%, and Cross Rivers 63.2%, adding that it did not matter to them that in those states, Labour Party has no serving councillor in any ward. Onanuga therefore maintained that it was important to alert Nigerians and the international community that the pollsters at next year's were working for the Labour Party and their poll results were all cooked up, far away from reality. Meanwhile, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku, yesterday alleged that his counterpart in the All Progressive Congress, APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, would acquire federal government properties across the country if he gets the country's top job later this month. In a statement signed by his special assistant on public communication, Frank Shaibu, Atiku stated that Lagos State, where Tinubu had been ruling directly and indirectly since 1999, has become his personal fiefdom and property. The statement was in reaction to Tinubu's claim in a number of his rallies that Atiku sold off government properties and diverted the proceeds. Atiku noted that Tinubu, in an interview with the news magazine some 10 years ago, said he returned to Nigeria after the June 12 struggle with nothing. They dispossessed me of the house as well as my office in SUCC, Tinubu Street, my vehicles and everything else I owned. They claimed they found bombs in it and disposed me of it. I was totally cleaned out. I had only 5 shirts, £2,000 and jackets, he quoted Tinubu to have said in the then interview. However, Atiku maintained that Tinubu had become stupendously wealthy by taking over critical government properties. Tinubu converted the land where Lagos Polytechnic was located at Ikosi near the old toll gate. He chased away the students in 2006 and went ahead to locate the choice plot to himself, his cronies and political associates. The headquarters of television Continental TVC, which is owned by him, is located there. We dare him to deny this, Atiku added.